Hello, and welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real-life American English. Today we're going to learn to avoid some important mistakes, so let's get started. First, this is not correct.
By the way, you can learn basic grammar during a course called From Elementary to Intermediate. The course lasts for 7 weeks. It has 30 lessons and it covers all the important rules for topics such as articles, tenses, passive voice, conditional sentences, and more. Over 160,000 students from 80 plus countries across the globe have taken LinguaTrip courses. Here is what one of our students say about this particular course from elementary to intermediate.
I cannot say, here's what one of our students say. It's one student, so we have to change the verb. We cannot say. We have to say says. Here's what one of our students says. Because it's one, we have to change the verb with the S. Pronunciation, says. Here's what one of our students says. This is correct. I cannot say, here's what one of our students say. Or I can change the verb to the past and say, here's what one of our students said, but not say. Example, here's what one of her students says. Or I can say, here's what one of her students said. Example, this is what one of her students says. Or in the past, this is what one of her students said. Let's practice. Is this what one of her students says? That's right. This is what one of her students says. Let's practice in the past. Is this what one of her students said? That's right. This is what one of her students said. This is also not correct.
And I think for the first 8 years, they would still use Russian to explain us topics in English, and then we will practice.
I cannot say they would still use Russian to explain us topics in English, and then we will practice. There are two mistakes here. First, I cannot say explain us topics. I have to change the order and say explain topics to us. So it's correct to say they would still use Russian to explain topics to us.
And I think for the first 8 years, they would still use Russian to explain us topics in English, and then we will practice.
You're using would here because it's a past routine. It's something they did a lot in the past. We use would here. We see would in the first part of the sentence, so we need to use would in the second part of the sentence too. So it's correct to say they would still use Russian to explain topics to us in English, and then we would practice. Example, they would still use Russian to explain topics to them. Let's practice. Would they still use Russian to explain topics to them? That's right, they would still use Russian to explain topics to them. I cannot say explain them topics. I have to say explain topics to them. In English, that is. Example, and then they would practice. After the explanations, they would practice. Let's practice. After the explanation, would they practice? That's right. After the explanation, they would practice. This is also not correct.
Different adjectives that people use when they describe children's books' characters, and it's amazing what it does to your language.
I cannot say children's books characters. We don't use a possessive books here. We use a singular book as an adjective. Children's book characters. This is correct. So remember, don't say children's books characters, say children's book characters. You're describing what kind of characters they are. They're from children's books. Use the singular form for a description. This is also not correct.
Everyone who went to a school in post-Soviet countries know that, and again, comes from Soviet schools. I am actually so glad I went through that schooling system.
Pronunciation. I cannot say post-Soviet countries. The word is pronounced Soviet. We need the long O like in post. Post-Soviet. Not Soviet. I can't use the open ah sound like hot and stop. I need the long O like no and go. Soviet. Post-Soviet countries. Example, post-Soviet countries are in Eastern Europe. You can also say former Soviet countries. Example, most former Soviet countries are in Eastern Europe. Let's practice. Are most former Soviet countries in Eastern Europe? That's right, most former Soviet countries are in Eastern Europe. Remember, it's Soviet, not Soviet. This is also not correct.
The second coffee drink category is the espresso beverages. Espresso beverages are coffee drinks made with espresso and can be served. There's also the Americano, which is just espresso with hot water, and the cappuccino, a classic espresso drink made with espresso and frothed or foamed milk.
The word is not pronounced espresso. I cannot say espresso. I like espresso drinks. It's espresso. We need that vowel. I like espresso drinks, not espresso drinks. Example, he loves espresso drinks. Lattes, frappuccinos, all of them. He loves espresso drinks. Let's practice. Does he love espresso drinks? That's right, he loves espresso drinks. This is also not correct.
Tall to refer to a small cup, and the word grande to refer to a medium-sized cup.
The word is not pronounced grundy. Grundy? We have two vowels to change. The first vowel, not gr, but gra. Use the open ah sound like hot and stop. Gra. Grandi? We don't say grandi, we say grande. Use the long a like say and pay. So again, we don't say grundy, we say grande. So for the first syllable, we cannot say gr. We cannot use the sound like cup and up. We need the ah sound, the open sound like hot and stop. Gran. Grande. And again, for the last vowel, use the long a like say and play. Grande. I know this is a Spanish word, but this is how we pronounce it in American English. If you go to Starbucks and you want a medium-sized coffee, you order a grande. Can I have a grande latte, please? That's a medium latte. At Starbucks. Example, he's drinking a grande latte. Pronunciation, latte. Use the same sounds, the ah like hot and stop, la, and the a like day and say, te, latte. He's drinking a grande latte. Let's practice. Is he drinking a grande latte? That's right, he's drinking a grande latte. Thank you for watching, and keep watching to learn more mistakes to avoid. First, this is not correct.
This is called curb. This is called crosswalk.
I cannot say this is called curb, and I cannot say this is called crosswalk. These are countable nouns. I have to use articles. I can say this is called a curb, or this is called the curb. I can say this is called a crosswalk, or this is called the crosswalk. You can use the article a or the in either case. When I use it's more in general. This is called a curb. This is called a crosswalk, one of many. It's more general. But when we use these words, we usually use the referring to a specific one. Example, watch out for the curb. Be careful. Watch out for the curb. Let's practice. Should you watch out for the curb when you're walking? That's right, you should watch out for the curb when you're walking. You could trip and fall down. Example, you should always use the crosswalk when you cross the street. Let's practice. Should you always use the crosswalk when you cross the street? That's right, you should always use the crosswalk when you cross the street. It's safer that way. This is also not correct.
This is a small wall, and people actually sit on here all the time.
I cannot say people actually sit on here. I can say people actually sit here, and I can eliminate the preposition on. People actually sit here. This is correct. You can also say people actually sit on it. It referring to the wall. People actually sit on it. But I cannot say people actually sit on here. This is not correct. Example, this is a bench. People sit here. Or I can say people sit on it. But I cannot say people sit on here. Let's practice. This is a bench. Do people sit here? That's right, people sit here. Do people sit on it? That's right, people sit on it. We hear the pronunciation. The T in sit changes to a fast D because it's between vowels. Sit on it. Sit on it. This is a bench and people sit on it. This is also not correct.
This is actually a safety fence because it closes at 10 p.m. and it opens at 5 a.m.
I cannot say a safety fence. A safety fence? The word is pronounced safety. It comes from the word safe. And in the word safe, the E is silent. So when I change it to the word safety, the E stays silent. And we use a real T sound. Safety, safety. Link the sounds. Safe, T, safety. I can use the word safety in different ways. I can say, he needs to wear safety goggles for his own safety. When I say safety goggles, safety is describing what kind of goggles you need. And when I say for his own safety, that safety is a noun. Let's practice. Does he need to wear safety goggles? That's right, he needs to wear safety goggles. Why? Is it for his own safety? That's right, it's for his own safety. So remember, don't say safety, say safety. This is also not correct.
Something you might need in case of an emergency are crutches.
I cannot say something you might need in case of emergency are crutches. Something is singular, so we have to use the action is. Something you might need or something you need in case of emergency is crutches. Or I can change something to a plural and say some things. Some things you need in case of emergency are crutches. Example, some things you need if you break your foot are crutches. Let's practice. What are some things you need if you break your foot? That's right. Some things you need if you break your foot are crutches. This is also not correct.
Cookie Monster. This one sounds fun.
I cannot say cookie monster. The word is pronounced cookie. Why is this important? We have two sounds. Cookie and kooky. They are two different words. So it's important to pronounce them correctly. First, let's look at kooky. Kooky with a long oo sound means funny or crazy. Kooky. He tells funny jokes. He tells strange jokes. He's kooky. That's with a long oo sound like moon and soon. Kooky. But the word cookie has a short sound, like book and look, cook, cookie. These are cookies. Let's practice. Is he kooky? That's right, he's kooky. He tells strange and funny jokes. He's kooky. And what are these? Are these cookies? That's right, these are cookies. Use the short sound. Cookies. Not cookies. Cookies. This is also not correct.
There's some gummy bears right here. Let me show you guys what are gummy bears.
I cannot say, let me show you guys what are gummy bears. When I say, let me show you guys, it's positive, so I have to use a positive structure. It's correct to say, let me show you guys what gummy bears are. I have to move are because it's a positive statement. You're not asking a question. We cannot use a question structure here. What are gummy bears? That's a direct question. What are gummy bears? So it's correct to say, let me show you guys what gummy bears are. And these are gummy bears. So if you say, I know, use a positive structure. I know what gummy bears are. If I ask the question, do you know? This is an indirect question, so we use a positive structure here too. Do you know what gummy bears are? I know what gummy bears are. Or if you say negative, I don't know. Again, you're not asking a direct question, so you use a positive structure. I don't know what gummy bears are. Let's practice. Do you know what gummy bears are? That's right. I know what gummy bears are. This is also not correct.
They come in a clear plastic glass.
I cannot say a clear plastic glass. If it's made of plastic, it's not a glass. It's a cup. A plastic cup or a clear plastic cup. I cannot say a plastic glass. A glass is made of glass. A glass cannot be made of plastic. If it's plastic, it's called a cup. So this is made of plastic. I cannot call it a glass. It's called a plastic cup. Let's practice. Is this a plastic cup or a plastic glass? That's right, this is a plastic cup. Because a plastic glass doesn't exist. This is also not correct.
And I'm also gonna enjoy this location because it's such a lovely architecture here. It's so fascinating.
I cannot say it's such a lovely architecture here. The word architecture is not countable. I cannot use an article. So I just eliminate a. It's such lovely architecture here. I cannot say a lovely architecture. So remember, when you use such, it's not always such a. Such a is when you have a countable noun. Such a nice day. Such a big house. These are countable nouns. But if the noun is not countable, eliminate a. Example, this is such amazing architecture. Let's practice. Is this such amazing architecture? That's right, this is such amazing architecture. First, this is not correct.
Hey, you shouldn't walk there. What do you mean? You should walk in the runway on the wooden pathway? Yes, on the wooden pathway. Okay.
It is a pathway made of wood, so I guess you could say it's a wooden pathway, but we don't. We call this thing a boardwalk. She was walking on the boardwalk. Usually a boardwalk is elevated, but it doesn't have to be. She was walking on the boardwalk. If it's by the beach or on the beach, it's a boardwalk. And this is a boardwalk. You walk on the boardwalk. Let's practice. When you go to the beach, do you walk on the boardwalk? That's right. When I go to the beach, I walk on the boardwalk. I don't call it a wooden pathway. I call it the boardwalk. And keep watching to learn to avoid more mistakes. First, this is not correct.
Let's find out what is the difference between a blouse and a shirt.
I cannot say, let's find out what is the difference between a blouse and a shirt. When I say what is the difference, that's a direct question. But if I say let's find out, it's not a direct question. So it's correct to say let's find out what the difference is between a blouse and a shirt. Or easier, we can just eliminate what is and say, let's find out the difference between a blouse and a shirt. This is easier and correct. So example, I want to find out the difference between a blouse and a shirt. Do you want to find out the difference between a blouse and a shirt? Me too. So let's do it. And this is not true.
This is a blouse. A blouse. A blouse is basically a shirt for women, and a shirt is a shirt for men.
A blouse is a shirt for women, and a shirt is a shirt for men? This is not true. A blouse is a fancy shirt for women. It's not just any shirt for women. It's a fancy shirt for women. Example, this is a blouse. It's a shirt for women, but it's fancy. That's the difference. This is a t-shirt for women. It's a shirt for women, but it's not a blouse because it's not fancy. It's a t-shirt. And this is a tank top. This is also a shirt for women, but it's not fancy, so it's not a blouse. It's a tank top, or it's a shirt. They're all shirts. So let's practice. What is this? Is this a blouse? That's right, this is a blouse. And what is this? Is this a tank top? That's right, this is a tank top. And it's not a blouse, but it's a shirt for women. And what is this? Is this a t-shirt? That's right, this is a t-shirt for women, but it's not a blouse because it's not fancy. This is also not correct.
I just came across this beautiful dress.
I cannot say I've just came across this beautiful dress. When I say I'm using I have, the contraction. I have, I've. I cannot use the past verb came, I have to use the participle. What is the participle for come? Come. Come is the participle for come. So it's correct to say, I've just come across this beautiful dress. So example, she has just come across this beautiful dress. That means she was looking and she found it by accident. She found it by chance. She has just come across this beautiful dress. She has, contraction, she's. She's just come across this beautiful dress. Let's practice. Has she just come across this beautiful dress? That's right. You can say she has or she's just come across this beautiful dress. She found it by chance. This is also not correct.
Long-sleeved shirts, because they have long sleeve.
I cannot say because they have long sleeve. Sleeve is countable. I can say a sleeve or sleeves. In this case, there are two, so I have to put an S on the word and say sleeves, because they have long sleeves. Example, this is a long sleeve shirt. Not a long sleeves shirt, but a long sleeve shirt. Because long sleeve is an adjective, it's in a singular form. This is a long sleeve shirt, and it has long sleeves. Let's practice. Is this a long sleeve shirt? That's right, this is a long sleeve shirt. Does it have long sleeves? That's right, it has long sleeves. This is also not correct.
That's what we call tank top.
I cannot say that's what we call tank top. Tank top is countable, so I have to use the article a. That's what we call a tank top. This is a tank top. Let's practice. What is this? Is this a tank top? That's right, this is a tank top. Does it have any sleeves? That's right, it doesn't have any sleeves. This is also not correct.
And some earrings or piercings.
Earrings or piercings? Are they the same thing? No, they're not. If you're going to buy earrings, they're called earrings. The things they have in the store that you buy, those are called earrings. Those are not called piercings. We can use the word piercings for two things. You can talk about the holes in your body. Those are piercings. I have 2 piercings. I have 2 holes in my ears. Those are piercings. Or if I talk about the earrings that are in my body, the earrings or whatever piercings you have that are in your body, those are piercings. But not what you buy at the store. Those are earrings. For example, I can ask you, can you please remove your piercings? Can you please take out all your piercings? I'm talking about all the things in the holes in your body. Those are piercings because they're in your body. But that's not what's at the store. At the store, they're earrings or navel rings or nose rings. That's different. So these are earrings. Let's practice. What are these? Are these earrings? That's right, these are earrings. Now let's talk about piercings. Holes in your body or things inside holes in your body. Let's practice. Do you have any piercings? Very good. She has a lot of piercings. Let's practice. Does she have a lot of piercings? That's right, she has a lot of piercings. Just remember, if you're going to the store to buy something, don't call them piercings. This is also not correct.
This one is a hoodie. Hoodie, yeah, it's actually called a hoodie because it has a hood.
Hoodie? Hoodie? The word is not pronounced hoodie. It's pronounced hoodie. Hoodie. Use the short sound like book and look. Good. Look at the good hoodie. Hoodie. This is a hoodie. And this is Hootie. This is Hootie and the Blowfish. They were a popular band from the 90s. Hootie. So don't be confused. This is Hootie and the Blowfish. And this is a hoodie. Hoodie. This is also not correct.
So this part of the hoodie is called pocket, where you can hold small stuff like your cell phone.
Again, not hoodie, but hoodie. This part of the hoodie is called pocket. Pocket is a countable noun, so I have to say a. This part of the hoodie is called a pocket. We have to use an article with pocket. Let's practice. What is this part of the hoodie? Is this part of the hoodie called a pocket? That's right, this part of the hoodie is called a pocket. This is also not correct.
Earbuds, earbuds holder.
I cannot say earbuds holder. Earbuds holder? Earbuds is a plural, but if I use it as an adjective, I have to eliminate the S. I cannot say earbuds holder. I say earbud holder. I know there are two earbuds, but it's an adjective. We have to eliminate the S. This is an earbud holder. It holds two earbuds, and it's called an earbud holder. Let's practice. What is this called? Is this called an earbud holder? That's right, it's called an earbud holder. And what does it hold? Does it hold earbuds? That's right, it holds earbuds. This is also not correct.
Some hoodies, they have zipper.
I cannot say they have zipper. Zipper is a countable noun. I need the article a. They have a zipper. I cannot say they have zipper. They have a zipper. When I talk about pants or jeans, they're plural, so I say they, not it, but they. They have a zipper. Let's practice. Do they have a zipper? That's right, they have a zipper. This is also not correct.
In today's video, you'll learn clothing vocabulary.
Here I interrupted the video because I met a fan from Venezuela. I love meeting you guys. She said she watches my videos and learns from them.
I cannot pronounce the word video. It's pronounced video. Make that long O sound like no and go. Video. The sound starts here and moves forward. Video. And ends right here. Video. Video. Not video, but video. Let's practice. Do you like this video? Me too. I like this video too. This is also not correct.
And this one is a denim jacket. Denim jacket. This material here is called denim. This is a denim jacket. There are denim skirts, denim shirts, and other materials that we can call denim.
I don't pronounce the word denim. It's pronounced denim. I use the schwa sound for the second syllable. It's not stressed. Use the sound relaxed sound. Denim. You can say this is a denim jacket, or you can say this is a blue jean jacket. Not blue jeans, it's an adjective, eliminate the S. This is a denim jacket, or this is a blue jean jacket. You can say it either way. This is also not correct.
A head wrap for you to do your skincare at night. So it's a head wrap.
I cannot pronounce the word head wrap. A head wrap? It's pronounced a head wrap. We use the A sound like black cat. It's more open. Wrap. This is a head wrap. We cannot say this is a head wrap. We don't use the S sound like bed and 10, rep, because that's a different idea. If I hear the word rep, I think of these, repetitions. When you go to the gym and you exercise and you do one exercise many times, those are called reps. You do 10 reps, 20 reps. It's short for repetitions. So if I hear rep, I think of exercise. We need the word wrap. This is a head wrap. It's used to hold your hair back when you put on your makeup. This is a head wrap. Let's practice. What is this? Is this a head wrap? That's right, this is a head wrap. Example, he went to the gym and he did 20 reps. 20 reps. Repetitions. Reps. Use a short eh like 10 and red. Let's practice. He went to the gym. How many reps did he do? That's right, he did 20 reps. This is also not correct.
That the word clothes is an uncountable noun.
The word is not pronounced close. It's pronounced close. Use the z sound with a voice, like zebra. Z, close. These are clothes. Remember, close has the same pronunciation as close, as in close the door. These are clothes, and I need to close the door. They're pronounced exactly the same. But this word is close, with no voice. It's close. It's near. This word close has the S sound. No vibration. I can say it's close or it's near. Different pronunciation. First, this is not correct.
These are garden hoses for you to wash the floor, for you to wash the ground of your house.
To wash the ground of your house? What is that? Does she wash the floors with a garden hose? I don't think so. I think she's talking about washing a patio or maybe a sidewalk. Because we cannot say wash the ground of your house. This doesn't exist. Example, he's washing the patio. You can use a garden hose to wash the patio. Let's practice. Is he washing the patio? That's right, he's washing the patio. You cannot say the ground of your house. It doesn't exist. This is also not correct.
Silly strings are usually used to play a prank or a joke.
I cannot say silly strings are usually used to play a prank or a joke. Silly string is not countable. I cannot say silly strings. I have to say it in a singular form, silly string. So I have to use a singular action is. Silly string is used to play a prank on someone. This is silly string. And silly string is used to play a prank on someone. You spray it on them for fun. But I don't think it's fun. Don't spray it on me. I don't like it. Let's practice. What is silly string used for? Is silly string used to play a prank on someone? That's right, silly string is used to play a prank on someone. The word string is confusing because this is a balloon, and the balloon is attached to a string. In this case, string is countable. You can have one string or two strings. But this is not silly string. It's different. And we talk about it differently. This is a balloon, and the balloon is attached to a string. We use a because it's one countable noun. Let's practice. Is the balloon attached to a string? That's right. The balloon is attached to a string. This is also not correct.
This specific aisle sells appliances.
I cannot say this aisle sells appliances. The aisle doesn't sell anything. We cannot use the verb sell here. We have to use the verb have. Change the verb with an S, has. This aisle has appliances. But I cannot say this aisle sells appliances. The store sells appliances, but not the aisle. Let's practice. Does the aisle have appliances? That's right, the aisle has appliances. If I talk about the store, I can use the verb sell. Does the store sell appliances? That's right, the store sells appliances. This is also not correct.
Yeah, there's some other stuff here. We can see an elephant planter.
I cannot say there are some other stuff here. Stuff is not countable. It's singular. So I have to change the verb. I have to say there is. There is some other stuff here. I cannot say there are some other stuff here. And I cannot say there are some other stuffs. Remember, stuff is not countable. It's singular. We have to use a singular verb. There is some other stuff here.
Yeah, there's some other stuff here. We can see an elephant planter.
And pronunciation, we don't say elephant planter. It's elephant. The last syllable is not stressed. We do not say elephant. It's elephant. Elephant. Example. There's a lot of stuff on the table. Not there are, but there is. There is together, there's. There's a lot of stuff on the table. Let's practice. Is there a lot of stuff on the table? That's right, there's a lot of stuff on the table. And this is an elephant. Not an elephant, but an elephant. Make a closed sound for the last syllable. Funt, funt, elephant. This is an elephant. And the elephant has a lot of wrinkles. Maybe it's an old elephant. I'm not sure. Let's practice. Is this an elephant? That's right, this is an elephant. Does the elephant have a lot of wrinkles? That's right, the elephant has a lot of wrinkles. This is also not correct.
Cameras for you to film, for you to take picture.
I cannot say take a picture. Not take a picture, take a picture. Use the short I sound like this is. It's a more closed sound. P. Not pa, but picture. Take a picture. Example, he's taking a picture. He's taking a picture of the boy. Remember, we use of. Take a picture of. He's taking a picture of the boy. Let's practice. What is he doing? Is he taking a picture of the boy? That's right, he's taking a picture of the boy. This is also not correct.
Ladders. Ladders are used for you to reach a higher level.
I cannot say reach a higher level. Level? She means level. First, we use the short S sound like red and 10. It's more closed, it's short. Not la, but le. Level. And we have the V, so we need the V sound. With the top lip up, V. Vibration with the teeth, V. And a straight position, straight and relaxed. V. Level, level. To reach a higher level. Example, she wants to reach a higher level. Let's practice. Does she want to reach a higher level? That's right, she wants to reach a higher level. This is also not correct.
Decorative tiles. Let me show you one. Oh, this one is really heavy.
I cannot say this is really heavy. Heavy? The word is pronounced heavy. Again, we see the short S sound like red and 10. Heavy. Not heavy, but heavy. Example, the elephant is really heavy. It's not light, it's heavy. Let's practice. Is the elephant light or heavy? That's right, the elephant is really heavy. This is also not correct.
Here we find rugs, carpets, and mats. So if you want to know the difference between a rug and a carpet, just remember, rugs don't cover the entire floor.
I cannot say carpet. I cannot stress both syllables. I stress the first syllable. So it's carpet. The second syllable is not stressed, it's closed and relaxed. Pit. Not carpet, but carpet. Example, he's installing carpet. Let's practice. What is he doing? Is he installing carpet? That's right, he's installing carpet. This is also not correct.
This is a comforter. Yeah, it's a comforter set for you to sleep with.
I cannot pronounce the word comforter. It's not comforter. It's not the ah sound like hot and stop. It's the sound like cup and up. Closed and relaxed. Comforter. We hear the T pronounced like a fast D. Furter, comforter. There's a comforter on the bed. It's a white comforter. So I can say there's a white comforter on the bed. And the bed is not made. Somebody needs to make the bed because the bed is not made. Let's practice. Is there a white comforter on the bed? That's right, there's a white comforter on the bed. Is the bed made? That's right, the bed is not made. Does somebody need to make the bed? That's right, somebody needs to make the bed. This is also not correct.
I hope you guys learned a lot of new words and vocabulary from this video.
I cannot say I hope you learned a lot from this video. The word is not pronounced video. It's pronounced video. We use the long O sound like go and no. O. Together, video. Video. And I hope you learned a lot from this video. Let's practice. Did you learn a lot from this video? Very good. I learned a lot from this video. First, this is not correct.
The first sentence to use right when you arrive at the restaurant is a table for and the number of people that is with you. A table for 2, please. A table for 3, please.
I cannot say the number of people that is with you. I have to change the action. I cannot use is in this case. I have to use are because people is a plural. I have to say the number of people that are with you. And pronunciation. A table for 2, please. The word is not pronounced please. It's pronounced please. Using the z sound with vibration, like in the word zebra. Z, please. Not please, but please. A table for 2, please. Use the z sound. So when you say a table for 2, please, you're giving the number of people that are with you. I cannot use is, I have to use are. You're giving the number of people that are with you, plus yourself. Let's practice. When you say a table for 2, please, are you giving the number of people that are with you? That's right. When you say a table for 2, please, you're giving the number of people that are with you, plus yourself. This is also not correct.
And then the waiter or the waitress gonna tell you what they are offering today.
I cannot say, and then the waiter or the waitress gonna tell you what they are offering today. If I say gonna, I need a verb. I have to use the verb is because it's one person. It's the waiter or the waitress. It's not both of them. It's not a plural. It's singular. So I need the verb is. So it's correct to say, and then the waiter or the waitress is going to tell you what they are offering today. When I talk about the waiter, I use the verb is. The waiter is going to tell you what they are offering today. I use they to talk about the restaurant. When I talk about a business, an organization, or any company, I use they. So talking about the restaurant, they are going to offer something. So the waiter is going to tell you what they are offering today. Let's practice. Is the waiter going to tell you what they are offering today? That's right. The waiter is going to tell you what they are offering today. Or it could be a waitress. Is the waitress going to tell you what they are offering today? That's right. The waitress is going to tell you what they are offering today. Remember, when you say gonna, you need the verb am, is, or are. And keep watching until the end of this video to practice with how to use gonna correctly. And there are 2 pronunciations, so keep watching to practice more. This is also not correct.
But of course that the waitress can ask you in other ways. There are variations for that.
I cannot say, but of course that the waitress can ask you in other ways. This is not correct. I cannot use that. I have to eliminate that. It's correct to say, but of course the waitress can ask you in other ways. We cannot use that in this sentence. So let's practice. Can the waitress ask you in other ways? Of course, the waitress can ask you in other ways. Don't use that. This is also not correct.
Menu is a list of food that the restaurant serves that you can choose.
I cannot say menu is a list of food that the restaurant serves. Because menu is a countable noun, I have to use the article a menu, in general. A menu is a list of food that the restaurant offers. I have to say a menu, not just menu. So a menu is a list of food that the restaurant offers. Let's practice. What is a menu? That's right. A menu is a list of food that the restaurant offers. This is also not correct.
So I highly recommend you to use I'd like or I'll have when you're going to ask for food.
It's not correct to say I highly recommend you to use I'd like or I'll have. When I use the verb recommend, I have to use a different structure. It's correct to say I recommend or I highly recommend that you use I'd like or I'll have when you order something at a restaurant. Those are the best options. I'd like a salad or I'll have a salad. That's the best way to order. So it's correct to say, I highly recommend that you use I'd like or I'll have when ordering at a restaurant. Example, his doctor recommended that he exercise. I cannot say his doctor recommended him to exercise. I have to use a different structure with recommend. His doctor recommended that he exercise. Notice that I don't say he exercises. It's not a routine. It's a different structure. There's no S. His doctor recommended that he exercise every day. Let's practice. Did his doctor recommend that he exercise every day? That's right. His doctor recommended that he exercise every day. This is also not correct.
Now something extremely important. Depending on the country you go or the region that you visit.
I cannot say depending on the country you go or the region you visit. With the verb visit, there's no problem. But with the verb go, there is a problem. I have to use the preposition to. Depending on the country you go to. I have to say to after go. Depending on the country you go to or the region you visit. This is correct. Example, you will find different food depending on the country you go to or the region you visit. Let's practice. Will you find different food depending on the country you go to or the region you visit? That's right. You will find different food depending on the country you go to or the region you visit. Now let's talk about pronunciation. This is not correct.
Let's move on to the third sentence, and this one is used by the waitress.
I cannot say this one is used by the waitress. And I'm not sure if she's saying used and mispronouncing used, or if she's saying use it. Either way, it's not correct. We have to say this one is used. Pronunciation. We have to say used. This one is used by the waitress. Not used. Used. Example. The phrase, what can I get you? This phrase is used by the waitress when they take your order. They say, what can I get you today? This phrase is used by the waitress. So, talking about the phrase, what can I get you? Is this phrase used by the waitress? That's right. This phrase is used by the waitress, not used. This is also not correct.
Ordering beverages. To order drinks or beverages at the restaurant, you can consider using two expressions.
I cannot pronounce the word beverages. Drinks and beverages. I have to separate the sound and say beverages. Beverages. Drinks and beverages. And to order drinks and beverages at the restaurant, in this case, we're not talking about a specific restaurant, so we don't say the, we say a. To order drinks and beverages at a restaurant. Pronunciation, at a restaurant. Speaking in general, to order drinks and beverages at a restaurant, what do you say? You say, I'd like or I'll have. That's what you say to order drinks and beverages at a restaurant. Let's practice. What do you say to order drinks and beverages at a restaurant? That's right. To order drinks and beverages at a restaurant, you say, I'd like or I'll have. These are the best options. This is also not correct.
I'd like a glass of orange juice, no ice, please.
I cannot pronounce the words orange juice. Orange juice. This is not correct. First, we need to sound or like floor and more. Orange juice, orange juice. We need another sound. Now, we don't say orange juice. We don't have two j sounds. So what do? Well, the first sound is a more relaxed sound. Zh. Like when you say pleasure or measure. Vision. Zh. So orange juice. Then we transition to the hard j sound in juice. So we have two different sounds. Orange juice. Orange juice. Not orange juice and not orange juice, but orange juice. The first sound is softer, j, and the next sound is harder, j, juice. Together, orange juice. Not orange, but orange. Orange juice. So it's correct to say, I'd like a glass of orange juice. No ice, please. Remember, please, not please. Please use the vibration sound z with the word please. Again, I'd like a glass of orange juice. No ice, please. This is also not correct.
That you have at that moment.
I cannot say at the moment. At the moment. We cannot use the short ah sound like hot and stop and mom. We need the long o sound like no and go and phone, moment, at the moment. Right now, at the moment, I'm making a video. What are you doing right now, at the moment? Very good. This is also not correct.
But of course, you can also say, could you bring me the menu? Could you bring me the menu? If you want the waiter or the waitress to bring you the menu, that you can see it right in front of you and think about the food that you're gonna order.
I cannot pronounce the word manu. It's not manu, it's menu. It's a short closed sound, like 10 and bed, men. Menu. This is a menu, not a manu, menu. Let's practice. What is this? Is this a menu? That's right, this is a menu. This is also not correct. I cannot pronounce the word ardor. It's not ardor. We don't make the R sound like far and car. We make the OR sound like more and floor. Or, order. Example, I'd like to order, please. Not I'd like to ardor. I'd like to order. Let's practice. Would you like to order? Very good. This is also not correct.
As a response, the waitress is gonna say something like, I'll be back in a few minutes.
I cannot say as a response. As a response, the waitress is going to say something like, I'll be back in a few minutes. We cannot pronounce the word response. The stress is on the second syllable, not the first. So we have to say response. Response. Move the stress to the second syllable. So I can say, as a response, the waitress is going to say something like, I'll be back in a few minutes. Let's practice. What is the waitress going to say as a response? That's right. As a response, the waitress is going to say something like, I'll be back in a few minutes. Remember, response. Not response, but response. Put the stress on the second syllable. This is also not correct.
Now, when you order some water, you have to choose between two options, the still and the sparkling water.
I cannot say the still and the sparkling water. The still? She means still. The still and the sparkling water. Let's compare these three words. The first word is steal. We use the long E plus the dark L. Steal. E like green beans. Steal. Then transition to the dark L. Steal. It's illegal to steal. And the second word has the same pronunciation as the first. Steal. The long E like green beans plus the dark L. Steel. Steel is a kind of metal. Steel. I can say stainless steel is a kind of metal. And the last word is still. Still. Use the short I like this is. It's a more open sound. Still. Plus the dark L. Still. So when I talk about water that doesn't have bubbles, it's not sparkling water, it's not soda, it's still water. It's not moving. That's why we call it still water. So remember this word still and the pronunciation. We use it for different things. We can talk about something that's not moving and say still. When I take a picture of my children, I say sit still. Be still. The idea, don't move. That's why we say still water, because there are no bubbles. It's not moving. It's still water. And I can use still for time. He lives at home with his mother, and he's 30 years old. Really? Still? He still lives at home with his mother and he's 30 years old? That's too long. Same pronunciation. He still lives at home with his mother. Let's practice. When you take a picture of children, what do you say? Do you say, sit still? Do you say, be still? That's right, you say, sit still, be still. And he's 30 years old, and he lives at home with his mother. Let's practice. Does he still live at home with his mother? That's right, he still lives at home with his mother. Still, not steal. That's different. First, let's watch a clip.
Are you insulting me? No, it's your mouth. It's blah. Oh, it's smeared. Smeared? You have no posture. Are you saying that I have no manners? Manners, yes. I agree with you. I'm clumsy.
So, having no manners has nothing to do with the word clumsy. Clumsy means something completely different. Sure, if someone has food on their face and they don't wipe their mouth, you can say they have no manners. But they're not clumsy. That's different. And what about having chocolate smeared on your face? Well, that's not clumsy either. So what do we say? We say messy. If you have food smeared on your face, you are messy. Or I can say you are a messy eater, but not clumsy. That's something different. So example, she has food on her face and she's not wiping her mouth. I can say she has no manners. Let's practice. She has food on her face and she's not wiping her mouth. Does she have any manners? That's right, she has no manners. Example, she has food smeared on her mouth. Is she messy? That's right, she's messy. Is she a messy eater? That's right, she's a messy eater. But she's not clumsy. That's something completely different. So keep watching to practice with the word clumsy and find out what it really means. What happened? He dropped the plate. He dropped the plate of spaghetti on the floor. And he's always dropping things. He's always having accidents like this. So I describe him and I say he's clumsy. Clumsy is an adjective. It describes a person who has a lot of accidents. And he is clumsy. Pronunciation, the U is short. It makes the sound like cup and up, clum, z. The S makes a Z sound like zebra, clumsy. And the last sound is a long E like green beans, clumsy. The stress is on the first syllable. Clumsy. He's really clumsy. He's always dropping things. Let's practice. Is he clumsy? That's right, he's really clumsy. He's always dropping things. What happened? She put her foot in the trash can. She stepped in the trash can. It was an accident, but she's always having accidents like this. So I can say she's clumsy. Clumsy is an adjective. Or I can say she's a klutz. A klutz is a person. It's one person, so we say for one. She's a klutz. Pronunciation, cl. The U is short. It makes a sound like cup and up. Klutz. The Z is not pronounced with the voiced Z sound. It's pronounced with the S sound with no voice. Klutz. She's a klutz. She's always having accidents like this. If I want to give emphasis, I can use such. She's such a klutz. She's always having accidents like this, stepping into trash cans and dropping things. She's such a klutz. Let's practice. Is she a klutz? That's right, she's such a klutz. These two people are always having accidents. They're always dropping things, stepping into trash cans. So I could say they are clumsy. You could say they are a couple of klutzes, but for two people, it's better to use the adjective clumsy. They are really clumsy. Let's practice. Are they clumsy? That's right, they are really clumsy. So remember, clumsy is an adjective, and klutz is a person. Make sure you use a klutz. So you can say he is clumsy or he is a klutz. It's the same idea. First, this is not correct.
Those are called weed. Those are weed because they are undesirable plants.
I cannot say those are called weed. Those are weed. If you say weed with no S, you're talking about marijuana. But if you put an S on it and you say weeds, then you're talking about unwanted plants. Plants that you don't want in your garden. Those are called weeds, not weed. Keep watching until the end of this video to get a full explanation and practice with both. First, let's practice with weeds. She's pulling weeds out of her garden. Use the prepositions out of. Pronunciation, out of. The T changes to a fast D. Out of. She's pulling weeds out of her garden. Out of her garden. We see the H in her is silent because it's not a stressed word, so you hear out of her, out of her. She's pulling weeds out of her garden. Let's practice. What is she doing? Is she pulling weeds out of her garden? That's right, she's pulling weeds out of her garden. This is also not correct.
And now I'm holding a green capsicum. So we have the yellow peppers, the green capsicums.
I cannot call these green capsicum or green capsicums. Not in America. In America, they're called green peppers or green bell peppers. If you go to a store and ask somebody for green capsicum or green capsicums, they won't know what you're talking about. We have to call these green peppers or green bell peppers. I love green peppers. Whenever I order pizza, I always ask for green peppers. I like green peppers on my pizza. What about you? Do you like green peppers on your pizza? Very good. This is also not correct.
Bell peppers are usually bitter. And by bitter, I mean they have strong flavor.
I cannot say they have strong flavor. Flavor in this case is countable. I have to use the article a. They have a strong flavor. Sometimes flavor is not countable. You can say it has flavor or it has a lot of flavor. In these cases, flavor is not countable. But if I use an adjective like strong, then it is countable and I have to use the article a. They have a strong flavor. So, she thinks that bell peppers, green bell peppers, have a strong flavor and they're bitter. Bitter describes food that tastes bad. Bitter. I don't think they're bitter. I think they taste good. I don't think they have a strong flavor. What about you? Let me know in the comments what you think about bell peppers, green bell peppers. Do you think they're bitter? Do you think they have a strong flavor? Let me know in the comments. Example, I think coffee has a strong flavor. I think coffee is a little bitter. What do you think? Do you think coffee has a strong flavor? Very good. Do you think coffee is a little bitter? Very good. This is also not correct.
Do you know what are olives?
I cannot say, do you know what are olives? If I say what are, that's a direct question. I'm switching to make a question structure. What are olives? That's a direct question. But if I say, do you know, then it's an indirect question. And for an indirect question, we switch it back to a positive structure. Positive structure, olives are. Example, olives are good, olives are bad. That's a positive structure. So I have to use this when I make an indirect question with do you know? So it should be, do you know what olives are? Question, do you know what olives are? And then you answer the question. Yes, I know what olives are. Again, you're not asking a question, so you have to use the positive structure. I know what olives are. Or if you say, I don't know what olives are, we have to use a positive structure because you're not asking a question. So again, if you ask a question, do you know, this is called an indirect question. Because when you say, do you know, you're using a question structure. That means you cannot use a question structure for the second part. You can only use one question structure. That's the reason the second part is in a positive structure. Do you know what olives are? Let's practice. Do you know what olives are? Yes, I know what olives are. Let's practice the question. Ask me the question. Yes, I know what olives are. Another example. I'm looking for the keys. I'm looking for the car keys because I don't know where they are. I use a positive structure. I don't know where they are. I cannot say I don't know where are they. Where are they is a question structure. If I ask a direct question, I can say where are they? But if I say I don't know where they are. Or positive, I know where they are. I use a positive structure again. I know where they are. And if you use the indirect question, do you know? Again, use the positive structure. Do you know where they are? Do you know where the keys are? Do you know where the car keys are? Remember, after do you know, always use a positive structure for the second part. Let's practice. Do you know where the car keys are? That's right. I don't know where they are. Let's practice the question. Ask me the question. No, I don't know where the car keys are. Another example. Where is the bathroom? Where is the bathroom is a very common question, and it is a direct question. Where is the bathroom? But if I say, do you know, I have to use a positive structure for the second part. Do you know where the bathroom is? I cannot say, do you know where is the bathroom? This is not correct. I have to say, do you know where the bathroom is? I can say, I don't know. I don't know where the bathroom is. Again, I use a positive structure. Let's practice. Do you know where the bathroom is? Very good. I don't know where the bathroom is. Ask me the question. No, sorry. I don't know where the bathroom is. This is also not correct.
My favorite tent, the flowers tent.
I cannot say the flowers tent. In this case, the word flower is an adjective describing what kind of tent it is. So we have to eliminate the S. We do not use plural forms for an adjective. We have to use a singular form, flower. Flower tent. And remember, it's not taint, it's tent. Use the short S sound. Tent. Flower tent. Example, they sell flowers at the flower tent. Let's practice. What do they sell at the flower tent? That's right, they sell flowers at the flower tent. It makes sense. This is also not correct.
Watermelons are this big and rounded fruit.
I cannot describe watermelons and say they're rounded. So what's the difference between rounded and round? They're both adjectives. They both describe round things, but there's a difference. Watermelons are not rounded because they're not made round. Rounded describes something that is made round. Nobody made the watermelons round. They're just round. That's their shape. So we cannot use rounded in this case. If you describe cookies and they make the cookies round, you can say the cookies are rounded. But you cannot say the watermelon is rounded. The watermelon is round. Nobody made it that way. Nobody made it round. It's just round. So example, the cookies are rounded, or the cookies are round. You can use both. But the watermelon is round. That's the only adjective you can use to describe a watermelon, if it's round. Let's practice. Are the cookies rounded? That's right, the cookies are rounded, or round. They're both correct. What about the watermelon? Is it round? That's right, the watermelon is round. This is also not correct.
These orange flowers are called marigolds and are also gorgeous.
I cannot pronounce the word gorgeous. It's not gorgeous, it's gore. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
As a matter of fact, this is probably the most gorgeous hotel I've ever seen.
I think you just can't bear to let a gorgeous guy like me out of your sight.
Amy was gorgeous and so sexually advanced.
Oh, come on. You're gorgeous, and we're all gonna follow you.
Yeah, I mean, he's gorgeous, and he's really nice, and he's really real. For an actor, anyway.
So the first syllable is the long or sound, like floor and more. Gore. Gorgeous. Just. The stress is on the first syllable. So don't say gorgeous. Make it shorter. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Gorgeous means beautiful. Very, very pretty. And this dress is gorgeous. What do you think? Do you think the dress is gorgeous? That's right, the dress is gorgeous. So remember, adjectives ending in OUS are pronounced with a short sound at the end. Gorgeous, nervous, famous. We have a lot of adjectives with OUS at the end, and they're all pronounced the same with a short sound. Gorgeous, nervous, famous. This is also not correct.
Raspberry. Wow! Raspberry is a reddish pink fruit, and we can count them. We can say raspberries.
I cannot pronounce the word raspberries. Raspberries. First, the stress. We cannot put any stress on the third syllable. There's only one stress, it's on the first syllable. Raspberries. The second syllable is not it's air. Air like hair and chair. Raspberries.
I'm going to eat a strawberry and a raspberry at the same time.
Raspberry vodka.
May have the fruitcake and the cherry preserves, and there's a bottle of raspberry cordial on the shelf in the kitchen.
Only raspberry cordial, Mrs. Berry. Oh! Raspberry cordial, right?
Strawberries, raspberries, sure.
And the chocolate mousse with raspberries and hazelnut macaroon.
Raspberries. Let's look at the word berry, because it's very important. Hey, berry, very. They almost sound the same. The B makes a closed sound, berry, and the V makes a vibration sound, very. But the rest of the word is exactly the same. Berry, very. So let's talk about berries. We have strawberries, blueberries, cranberries, and raspberries. We have a lot of different kinds of berries, and they all have that same sound, air, like hair and chair. Bear. Berries. Now let's talk about raspberries. I don't really like raspberries, the fruit. 1 raspberry and 2 raspberries. They're not my favorite, but I love raspberry preserves. What are preserves? Well, you can say preserves, you can say jelly, you can say jam, and sometimes you can say marmalade. They're all kind of the same thing. There are differences between them, but I'm not sure what the differences are. All I know is I like preserves because it has more fruit in it. So I like raspberry preserves. We notice raspberry changes. There's no S because it's an adjective describing preserves. We cannot put the S there. Raspberry preserves. I love raspberry preserves. What about you? Do you like raspberry preserves? Very good. Today we're going to talk about the difference between weed or weeds. Which is correct? Let's get started. Well, sometimes you can say weed and sometimes you can say weeds. They're both correct, but there's a difference. First, let's talk about weed when it is countable. I can have 1 weed or 2 weeds. Example, there are a lot of weeds in the garden. This is grass that you don't want. Weeds. It's countable. Example, she's pulling weeds out of her garden. Let's practice. Is she pulling weeds out of the garden? That's right, she's pulling weeds out of the garden. But what if you talk about the grass or the plants that are in the ocean? It's called seaweed. Seaweed is not countable. I cannot say seaweeds. It's always in a singular form and it's not countable. Seaweed. There's a lot of seaweed in the ocean, and they use seaweed to make nori, and they use nori to make sushi. So there's seaweed in your sushi. Let's practice. Is there a lot of seaweed in the ocean? That's right, there's a lot of seaweed in the ocean. And our last example is weed. If you talk about marijuana, people say weed, and it is not countable. I cannot say one weed or two weeds. It's just weed. People smoke weed in California. It's legal to smoke weed in California. I don't smoke weed, but he smokes weed. Let's practice. Is it legal to smoke weed in California? That's right, it's legal to smoke weed in California. Let's practice. Is he smoking weed? That's right, he's smoking weed. So remember the three uses of weed. Weed can be countable if you're talking about a garden. There are a lot of weeds in a garden. But if you talk about seaweed or marijuana as weed, it's not countable. No S. First, this is not correct.
And I super recommend you to use this word.
I cannot say I super recommend you to use this word. With recommend, we have to use a different structure. It's correct to say I recommend that you use this word. I cannot say I recommend you to use this word. With the verb recommend, we need a different structure. Example, I cannot say his doctor recommended him to exercise. I have to say his doctor recommended that he exercise. Again, that he exercise. Let's practice. Did his doctor recommend that he exercise? That's right, his doctor recommended that he exercise. I cannot say his doctor recommended him to exercise. We use a different structure with recommend. And keep watching until the very end to practice more with this difficult structure. This is also not correct.
So this thing, this object, is called plunger. Plunger, that is another advanced word.
I cannot say this thing is called plunger. I need an article. Plunger is countable. I have to say a plunger. So it's correct to say this thing is called a plunger. Pronunciation. Plunger. Use the short sound like cup and up, plun, plus the j sound like in juice and jump. Jur. Plunger. This is called a plunger. Let's practice. What is this called? Is this called a plunger? That's right, this is called a plunger. This is also not correct.
He pays a lot of attention to simple things, small things, and imperceptible things in his daily routine.
I cannot say unperceptible things. The word unperceptible doesn't exist. We use a different word. We use the word imperceptible. If you cannot perceive something, that is to see it or notice it, then it is imperceptible. The word unperceptible doesn't exist. For example, you cannot clearly see the image. The image is almost imperceptible. Let's practice. Is the image almost imperceptible? That's right, the image is almost imperceptible. Now let's talk about pronunciation. This is not correct.
So you can say that your cousin is an amateur singer. It means that your cousin is a singer, but he's not professional. He's not a professional singer. My cousin is an amateur singer.
I cannot pronounce the word singer. I cannot pronounce the g sound, the hard g in this word. I have to use a nasal sound. Singer. Singer. Not singer, but singer. Example, she's a good singer. I cannot say she's a good singer. She's a good singer. Let's practice. Is she a good singer? That's right, she's a good singer. This is also not correct.
In order to be tasty, in order to be delicious, so.
I cannot pronounce the word delicious. We cannot use the long E sound like green beans. We use the short I sound like this is. Again, deli. It's more open. Deli. The second vowel, delicious. Not delicious, but delicious. It's important because this is a stressed syllable. It's important to pronounce it correctly. Delicious. Example, the food looks delicious. What do you think? Does the food look delicious? That's right, the food looks delicious. Not delicious, delicious. This is also not correct.
A warehouse is a large building used to store goods.
I cannot say a warehouse is a large building used to store goods. The word is not pronounced building. It's pronounced building. Building. Use the short I sound like this is, plus the dark L. Building. Building. A warehouse is a large building used to store goods. And this is also not correct.
So it's just a warehouse. It's an advanced word to call this place.
Warehouse is not an advanced word for this. It's just the word we use. There's nothing advanced about the word warehouse. It's just the word we use. It's a warehouse. This is also not correct.
I work for Amazon's warehouse. I work for Amazon's warehouse, for example.
I cannot say Amazon's warehouse. Amazon's warehouse? The word is not pronounced Amazon. It's pronounced Amazon. Amazon. Use the open sound. On. Amazon. We cannot say Amazon. It's Amazon. It's important because this is a stressed syllable. Amazon. We have a stress on the first and third syllable, so it's important to pronounce them correctly. Amazon. Amazon's warehouse. Example, this is an Amazon warehouse. Let's practice. Is this an Amazon warehouse? That's right, this is an Amazon warehouse. Remember, Amazon, not Amazon. This is also not correct.
If you follow me on my social media accounts, you probably know the meaning of clogged because recently I posted a video.
I cannot say I recently posted a video. First, recently, we don't say it like that. We say recently. We have to use a long E sound like green beans. Recently. Not recently. Not the short I like this is. We need the long E like green beans. Recently. It's important to pronounce it correctly because it's a stressed syllable. Recently. Recently. Recently I posted a video. The word is not pronounced video. It's pronounced video. O. The last vowel is a long O like no and go. O. Video. Not video, but video. Make the long O sound. Example. I recently posted a video. I think it was yesterday. Let's practice. Did I recently post a video? That's right. I recently posted a video. This is also not correct.
Pronunciation meticulous.
The word is not pronounced meticulous. It's not meticulous, it's meticulous. The second syllable is pronounced meticulous. Use the short I sound like this is. Remember, it's more open. Meticulous. Not meticulous. I cannot use the long E like green beans. I need a short I. Meticulous. Again, it's important because this is a stressed syllable. We have to pronounce these correctly. Meticulous. And what does it mean? It's an adjective to describe somebody who pays close attention to detail. I can say he is meticulous. Again, not meticulous, but meticulous. He's meticulous because he pays close attention to detail. He's very meticulous with his work. Let's practice. Is he very meticulous with his work? That's right, he's very meticulous with his work. He pays close attention to detail. This is also not correct.
Clogged means actually blocked or filled with something, especially a clogged toilet.
I cannot say clogged means blocked with something, especially a clogged toilet. I cannot use the word specially here. We have a different word. The word is especially. We need the E to start the word. We need the E first. There are two different words. Specially is one word and especially is a different word. We have to use especially in this case. So, clogged means blocked with something, especially a clogged toilet. More common than other things, especially. Let's practice. What does clogged mean? Does clogged mean blocked, especially with a clogged toilet? That's right. Clogged means blocked, especially with a clogged toilet. So we have these confusing words, special, specialty, specially, especially. They're all different and they're all used in different ways. So keep watching to practice and learn how to use them correctly. Today we're looking at the difference between these two words, specially and especially. First, let's talk about special and specially, with no E at the beginning. Special is an adjective. It describes a person, place, or thing. For example, this spoon. This spoon is special. It's different than the others, but in a positive way. I describe a spoon, it's a noun, it's a thing. I say the spoon is special. So you ask, what makes it special? It's designed specially for children. Again, with no E at the beginning. You start with the S sound. This spoon was designed specially for children. It was made specially for children because it's small. So special is an adjective. It describes a person, place, or thing, like a spoon. This spoon is very special. And specially describes a verb, like it was made or it was designed. So what's especially? If I put an E at the beginning and I pronounce the E, especially, this means more than the others. Example, I love all Italian food. I like pizza, I like spaghetti, but I especially like lasagna. Especially is also an adverb. It describes the verb like. I especially like lasagna. So remember, special is an adjective. It describes a thing, a person, or a place, a noun. This spoon is special. Specially is an adverb. It describes a verb. This spoon was made specially for children. And especially is to say more than the others. I love all Italian food, but I especially love lasagna. That means I love lasagna more than the other dishes. Let's practice. Is this spoon special? That's right, this spoon is special. Was this spoon made specially for children? That's right, this spoon was made specially for children. Do you like Italian food? Do you especially love lasagna? That's right, I especially love lasagna. Very good. Let's talk about the difference between special and specialty. Neither word has the E before, so it's not especial and it's not especialty. We start with the S, special or specialty. Special can be an adjective, like he is very special, but it can also be a noun. If you go to a restaurant, they have a special dish, and maybe it has a lower price, or they just want to sell it, so they're calling it the special. You can ask the server, what's the special today? And the server could say, we have a lunch special. It's only $5.99. So you can use special as a noun. What's the special today? Do you have a lunch special? So we can use with the, what's the special today? It's specific. Or you can use it as something not countable. Do you have a lunch special? Some restaurants have a lunch special and some restaurants don't. Now let's talk about specialty. Specialty can be used with a restaurant too. If a restaurant has a special dish that everybody knows about and the dish is famous and people go to that restaurant for this one dish, you can say that dish is their specialty. Example, I love this restaurant. Their specialty is lasagna. They make lasagna better than anything else. People come to this restaurant for this one special dish. It's their specialty. Or if you cook, you can say, this dish is my specialty. It's the one dish I cook better than everything else. It's the most popular dish that I make. It's my specialty. You can also use specialty to talk about jobs and work. For example, a lawyer. He's a lawyer. He's a corporate lawyer. So his specialty is corporate law. If he's a corporate lawyer, then his specialty is corporate law. He has a specialty. He specializes in one specific type of work. His specialty is corporate law. Or a doctor. A doctor can have a specialty. He's a doctor, but his specialty is cardiac care. He works with the heart, so his specialty is cardiac care. He specializes in this one area of medicine, so he has a specialty. Let's practice. Did they have a lunch special? That's right, they have a lunch special. And it looks like the special today is baked chicken. Let's practice. What's the special today? That's right, the special today is baked chicken. Let's practice. Does that restaurant have a specialty? What's their specialty? That's right, their specialty is lasagna. The lawyer has a specialty. What's his specialty? That's right, his specialty is corporate law. The doctor has a specialty. What's his specialty? That's right, his specialty is cardiac care. Very good. So remember these special words and how they're used differently. If you're still a little confused, watch the video again and keep practicing. So, what's the best way to use recommend? Well, the best way is to use a gerund. That's an action or verb with ing at the end. Example, I recommend practicing English every day. There's no other person. I cannot say, I recommend you practicing. It's just one person, me. I recommend this activity. I use gerund to express the activity. I recommend practicing English every day. So, example, I recommend practicing English every day. I can change the action recommend if it's he or she. He recommends. He recommends practicing English every day. Or she. She recommends exercising every day. You can also change recommend to the past. Recommended. He recommended exercising every day. And remember, you cannot say he recommended me exercising. There's no other person. It's just the activity you're talking about. He recommended exercising every day. Let's practice. Do you recommend practicing English every day?
Yes, I recommend practicing English every day.
Does she recommend practicing English every day? That's right. She recommends practicing English every day. Very good. Let's practice in the past. What did your doctor recommend?
He recommended exercising every day.
Did her doctor recommend exercising every day? That's right. Her doctor recommended exercising every day. Very good. Now let's practice with recommend if you have another person. For example, my doctor recommended me. We cannot say me. The only time you can say me is if somebody recommended me for the job. If I am the object or I am the thing that is recommended. He recommended me for the job. But in the example my doctor recommended, I cannot say me. I say I. My doctor recommended I exercise. So we have the person I, we have the action in a simple form, exercise. My doctor recommended I exercise. Why do we say I? Because there's a connector. That. It's an optional connector. You don't have to use it. But you can use it. It makes it easier. My doctor recommended that I exercise more. So remember, you can use the connector that for two ideas. You have the first person I and a simple action. My doctor recommended that I exercise more. Or you can eliminate that. It's optional. My doctor recommended I exercise more is correct. What if the other person is a he or a she? For example, my brother. His doctor recommended that he. I cannot say his doctor recommended him to exercise. I cannot use to in any situation. We use just a simple action. Talking about my brother, his doctor recommended that he exercise. That's right, it's a simple action. I don't change it like he exercises. He exercises is a routine. He exercises sometimes every day. I am not expressing a routine. I'm expressing an action that may or may not happen. So I don't change the action at all. It's always in a simple form. Exercise. So talking about my brother, his doctor recommended that he exercise every day. Exercise in a simple form. What about past? You say recommended. Why not exercised? No, we do not change it to past. It's always in a simple form in this structure. So whether it's present, his doctor recommends, or if it's past, his doctor recommended. The action is always in a simple form with no change. Don't change it to past and don't change it with S for he and she. So again, the example, his doctor recommended that he exercise every day. It is not correct, my doctor recommended that I have to exercise. It is not correct, my doctor recommended that I need to exercise. It is not correct, my doctor recommended that I should exercise. Only, my doctor recommended that I exercise every day. Only the simple action is necessary. And remember, the connector that is optional. My doctor recommended I exercise, or my doctor recommended that I exercise every day. What if you have a negative idea? For example, my doctor recommended that I not eat sweets. That's right, we use the negative not only. Not don't, only not. So it is not correct, my doctor recommended that I don't eat. You have to say, my doctor recommended that I not eat sweets. Now this is a difficult structure and it sounds very strange. So if you don't want to use it, you can say it a different way. You can just use a positive action, avoid. My doctor recommended that I avoid sweets. Easier. And one more thing about this structure. What if the verb is to be? For example, the teacher recommended that we are quiet. I cannot use are. I'm going to use a different form. Be. That's right, just be. And not to be, just the verb be alone. So example, our teacher recommended that we be quiet. That's right. She recommended that we be very quiet. Example, the teacher recommended that we be on time. Not we are on time, we use only the verb be. The teacher recommended that we be on time. And if you want to talk about the negative, she recommended that we not be late. Again, she recommended that we not be late. Let's practice. What did your doctor recommend?
He recommended that I exercise every day.
What did her doctor recommend? That's right. Her doctor recommended that she exercise every day. Very good. Let's practice. What does your husband recommend?
He recommends I eat healthier.
What does her husband recommend? That's right. He recommends that she eat healthier. Very good. Let's practice. What did your friend recommend?
She recommended that we try that restaurant.
What did her friend recommend? That's right. She recommended that we try that restaurant. Very good. Let's practice. Do they recommend that we arrive early?
Yes, they recommend that we arrive early.
Do they recommend that we arrive early? Very good. That's right. They recommend that we arrive early. An example. If I say they recommend you, you can use you to talk about any person. For example, they recommend that you exercise daily. Let's practice. Do they recommend that you exercise daily?
Yes, they recommend that you exercise daily.
Do they recommend that you exercise daily? That's right. They recommend that you exercise daily. And that recommendation is for everybody. Let's practice. What did your trainer recommend?
He recommended that I not eat sweets.
What did her trainer recommend? That's right. Her trainer recommended that she not eat sweets. Very good. Let's practice. Did your trainer recommend that you avoid eating sweets?
Yeah, he recommended that I avoid eating sweets.
Did her trainer recommend that she avoid eating sweets? Very good, that's right. Her trainer recommended that she avoid eating sweets. Let's practice. Does their teacher recommend that they be on time?
Yes, their teacher recommends that they be on time.
Does their teacher recommend that they be on time? That's right. Their teacher recommends that they be on time. Let's practice. Does their teacher recommend that they not be late on the first day?
Yes, she recommends that they not be late on their first day.
Does their teacher recommend that they not be late on the first day? That's right. The teacher recommends that they not be late on the first day. Very good. So let's review all the rules when using recommend. The first is use a gerund. It's easier. And you can use it when the person is not important. It's just the activity that's important. For example, he recommends exercising every day. But if the person is important, then remember, don't use me, don't use him. You start a new idea and you use I, he or she, they, and we. So, he recommends that we exercise, or he recommends that I exercise. And remember, the connector that is optional. You don't have to use it. But I recommend using it because it's going to make it easier to use this structure correctly. So, my doctor recommended that I exercise every day. What if you talk about a he or a she? His doctor recommends that he exercise. Remember, don't change the action for he and she. And don't change the action for past. It's always in a simple present form. Example, he recommended that I exercise. Recommended is in the past, but exercise is always in the present. And if it's negative, use not. He recommended that I not eat sweets. And if your action is to be, use be only. She recommended that we be on time. Or if it's negative, she recommended that we not be late. And also remember, don't use need to, have to, or should. Just use the action. You cannot say, he recommended that I have to be on time. No have to, no should, and no need to.
Thank you for watching.
And if you like this video, click the link in the description and check out our other channel where you'll find other great videos just like this one. Thanks for watching.